Are you watching here? Come close to the screen and listen. People don't have to like you. People don't have to love you. They don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see. You better love what you see.
The most important thing to me now is being in touch with myself.
Intentionally act like the person you want to become. Because when you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you. When your brain sees you high-fiving yourself in the mirror, it starts to go, oh, wait a minute.
Why the hell should you take care of something as sorry and wretched as you are? First of all, yes, you're pretty useless and terrible, but so is everyone else, and that's actually an existential problem, right? And what I mean by that, it's a problem that every human being has always had and always will. So it's not just you, it's a universal problem. Despite the fact that you're not all that you could be, the proper attitude to have towards yourself is the attitude that you would have towards someone that you genuinely cared for. You have something valuable to bring into the world as an individual. You have a light that you have to bring into the world, and that if you don't bring it into the world is a dimmer place, and that's a bad thing, because when the world is a dim place, it can get very, very, very dark. And so it's necessary, not just so that you feel better, not just so that you're a #1 lobster, none of those things. You need to take care of yourself because you're in the best position to do that, and it's necessary for you to take care of yourself. Despite the fact that we're mortal and vulnerable and self-conscious and capable, not only capable of doing terrible things, but actually do them. Despite all that,
we will have discovered fire. Love and the discovery of fire. So the benefits of love of others has been well documented, but it isn't until recently that people have been putting more energy into the discovery of what happens when we love ourselves. And there are so many ways in which we find challenges here, don't we? I have been through so many iterations of my self-love, my practice of self-love. So if you were wondering, like, oh my gosh, is this easy? It's easy for some. And this has never been that easy for me. That over time, we get an opportunity to understand what happens. We start to feel differently under the influence of our own self-love. And I want to walk you through the benefits from this study on the power and the beauty and the blessing of practicing self-love. So number one, what happens? It changes our brain emotionally. We have a decrease in depression symptoms, decrease in symptoms, increase in optimism and compassion towards ourselves. It'll affect our immune systems profoundly, particularly something called the natural killer cells, which are our primary defense against viruses and bacteria. So loving ourselves potentiates our immunity. It helps to lower blood pressure. It actually helps with expanding our life expectancy. It actually connects with our telomeres. Our DNA, our gene expression loves self-love. So the more that we are practicing this, we are literally giving ourselves an elixir for longevity. It actually helps to ease both acute and chronic pain. It gives us higher levels of serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. So serotonin, calm, contentment, happiness, resilience. Dopamine, motivation, confidence, enthusiasm. Oxytocin, anti-inflammatory. It is the love hormone. So when we are practicing self-love, those 3 hormones are literally increasing. We'll see, as I said earlier, lower levels of all the stress hormones, including cortisol. And interesting enough, this is where the practice becomes contagious. The more that we are willing to go out in the world under the influence of practicing self-love, we literally are better at leading others to do the same. There is this situation in our minds, in our brains, in our being called mirror neurons. And these mirror neurons are connected to our nervous system, they're connected to our mind, they're connected to all parts of us. And one of their goals is to seek good, to emulate good, to find good.
Ups and downs you always have in life. You will have more of it, don't worry. But the fact that you recognize it, and the fact you recognize that really drains you down is enough for you to know that you will overcome it. You have to motivate yourself. You have to motivate yourself because what comes from within is the one which stays with you. I can tell you 10 things and go away today. But unless you self-motivate, saying, hey, come on, yes, ups and downs, yes, today was a bad day, but I will see tomorrow better.
Is you loving you? So when you're loving you, it teaches others that this is a possibility for them too. Don't you just know the world right now is looking for models of self-love? Spiritually based, beautifully contagious, and connecting all of us under the influence of this one more time. Someday, after mastering the winds, the waves, and the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energy of love. And then, for a second time in the history of the world, we will have discovered fire. I think we are due in needing to discover fire for the second time.
I believe God put us all here for a reason, and we all have our purpose, and we're here to fulfill our purpose individually. I think the thing that's kept me sane, the thing that's kept me humble, the thing that's kept me successful is being myself. The minute you learn to love yourself, you would not want to be anybody else.